baby. It's finally arrived. Late afternoon. I know Benji was hard at work getting the update ready, but we have been blessed with the not the update patch notes. Now I'm very, very excited to be able to dig into this a little bit. I've read through some of it already, and there's some exciting things that I've seen, but I just wanted to highlight some of the crazy new stuff that's coming in this patch that's dropping tomorrow. We are blessed. All right, let's get into it. Now, if you've been playing Tiny Rogues for a while, you know that Benji has a bit of a history of having homages either to other players or other games, references to things in popular culture that are subtle. And here we have some homages to awesome games. I think this is really cool. Supporting other game creators is always a plus, always a great thing. But supporting other game creators by having references to their games in your game is on another level. That's better than Twitter. That's better than some social media post, right? So, Revita, awesome fast-paced twin-stick roguelite platformer. The lead developer, Ben Starr, has been an inspiration for myself ever since I caught my first glimpse of Revita. I added a new starter gift and accessory, the Soul Scarf. It imitates one of Revita's core mechanics. That is converting souls into health. Soul Scarf absorbs souls, grants a soul heart for every 1,000 souls absorbed. I like this. We already have the ability to convert souls into money in the game. Converting souls into soul hearts, it just makes sense. It's awesome. So, convert souls into soul hearts. Also, the first and only accessory in the game that shows up on your character. First accessory. Got that cool little baby blue scarf around you. Awesome. Neophyte, a mini top-down action roguelike. I played this game even before it was available on Steam and immediately fell in love with it. That's awesome that he remembered this. I asked the developer, Regal Pigeon, about some secret Neophyte lore that I could use to get inspiration for a good reference. Regal Pigeon leaked to me that it is implied that mana is a corrupted force in the world of Neophyte. So I made the occult mark apply corruption to each enemy in the room anytime you pick up a mana star. Crazy. Occult mark, a helmet. Anytime you pick up a mana star, it inflicts corruption to all enemies in the room, ignores corruption cooldown. Each stack of corruption increases damage taken by 1%. Whoa. Helmet makes you look a little bit like a character from Neophyte. Got the little gem on the forehead. That's pretty sick. Beyond the Long Night, an upcoming whimsical twin-stick action roguelike. While the game isn't released yet, playing the demo already absolutely enchanted me. The music, the atmosphere, and the sheer attention to detail in this game is incredible. In the game, the player character floats through the world using a bundle of balloons. Now, Benji made a post on Twitter with this little animation here, detailing how those balloons look and his balloon physics. I wanted to replicate the feeling of freedom you get from moving around in Beyond the Long Night. That's why I added a new offhand equipment item, the balloon bundle. The balloon bundle increases your movement speed, but be careful. Anytime you take damage, a balloon will pop, and the movement speed bonus will decrease. Really, really cool. Has a conditional buff, almost like the Scouter, right? Something happens, the buff will go away, or the item will break. I wish Noisy Head Games a successful launch. Shout out to Noisy Head Games. I hope I did all of these awesome games justice with these new items. If you haven't tried any of the other games yet, do yourself a favor and go check them out. I think he has links as well to them directly, so you can check that out. I hope everybody does. I'll definitely be checking them out. Next, patch highlights. I like how he put the little TLDR in here of 4 new classes, 4 new starter gifts, and 2 reworked gifts. 26 new weapons, bro. For this to be the not update, and for us to get 4 classes, 4 new starter gifts, 2 rework gifts, 26 new weapons, a new health flask feature, new dice bag feature, new lethal bar feature, and 3 new achievements. That's a lot for a not the patch. I'm excited to see those achievements too. I really want to see what they are. If you watch my previous videos, you heard me talk about the fact that I have not been trying to go crazy on the Megadeth Cinder runs because I was waiting to see which achievements were going to drop, and I didn't know if those achievements were going to be retroactive. So let's get into it. New features. New dice bag. We see that here. Dice are not consumable items anymore, but are now stored in your dice bag. You can find the dice bag in your inventory. That is amazing, especially if you're playing hero. Um, and, you know, hero gets a buff based on how many dice you use, and you're getting a new red one at the end of each floor. If you're doing your Cinder runs, you only have 6 inventory slots. It was tough. When I was doing my Cinder 16 run through, I was specifically avoiding him because I just did not have the space for it. So that's a huge buff. New lethal bar. New HUD element that is right below your health display and informs you about revives and death defies that you have. That's really helpful too. I never know, aside from like the base revive, how many other ones I have from potions and things like that. I never try to look. Additionally, the speedrun mode will change the in-game timer to not pause until death has been defeated. Interesting. New. A new save system allows you to have multiple save states and also make save state backups. This is great. I really enjoyed this in Binding of Isaac as well. It was cool to see the progress that I had made and start over in a new save state if I wanted to get that original feeling back. A health flash. Drink your health flask to recover health. Drinking a health flask takes some time and you cannot move while drinking. It's intended to be very hard to heal during combat. Got it. This reminds me of like almost like Bloodborne. You know, drinking your little flask that you keep on, you get a little bit of health back. That's awesome. New Crushing Blow. The Crushing Blow effect is a chance to deal percentage of current enemy health as extra damage. This effect has a 2.5 second cooldown. Don't want to jump too far ahead, but I know that this is now attached to hammers and maces instead of bleed. I read the post that Crushing Blow was going to be added, and I like this for hammers and maces. If you watch my videos, you know me, you know I love a bleed, but this is a pretty good substitute, so I will take it. Overhaul the character panel now shows almost every stat in the game and gives much more detailed information. This is great for people who want to min-max, post all their stats and stuff like that. Super helpful. And then enabling speedrun mode in the option menu will now enable a quick restart button in the pause menu. That is really cool. I always just end up going through my runs. I never just like give up and like quick restart, but I know a lot of people love a quick restart feature. So good for them. Good for you if you like quick restart. What are we going to get into next? I'm going to change this a little bit. Yeah, I'm going to change that a little bit. Wasn't getting all of the screen. So, weapon changes. This is where it gets crazy. So a lot of damage and scaling tweaks happen to many weapons in this patch because these changes are so spread out. I might have missed some. Sorry. Hey, you know what? We forgive you. There's a lot going on here. Candy Scroll now periodically grants Sugar Rush, 20% more movement and attack speed for 5 seconds every 10 seconds. Previously had a chance to grant Sugar Rush 50% more movement and attack speed for 4 seconds on kill. I like that change a lot. Ex Mortis now deals 10% more damage per boss you've killed. Now works retroactively. All of these are now retroactively. Yo, this was my... Misfit Sword, Unholy Bible, Demon Blade. I recently posted a Demon Blade video. Hungry Blade as well. Oh my god. This was my big thing. And I talked to my friend Steve about this. So many of these items, it's like, they're good depending on when you get them, right? Like, if you get Unholy Bible on 2nd floor, it's phenomenal. If you get it on 9th floor, you're like, bro, I've already lost out on so many opportunities to kill bosses to increase the rotation speed. So this is, like, conditionally good. Now... it's a good pickup all the time. And when you get it, yeah, I don't mind getting it on 9th floor now. That's awesome. Toxic Scepter Explosion Effect now has its own base damage and scaling. Previously dealt percentage health of killed enemy as damage. Interesting. Its own base damage and scaling. Okay, Archon Scepter now grants a stack of pure power on hit. Each stack of pure power grants +1 int up to 30 intelligence. Oh my god. Yo, int just gets better. If you know my videos, you know when we go int, we go stupid. And like, int is just getting better. This is awesome. Mana Scepter now spawns a Mana Star every 5th attack. Previously had a chance to drop a Mana Star on kill. So every 5th attack is pretty damn good. Mjolnir, Lightning Strikes damage now scale with character level. Oh, okay. I'm seeing a lot of buffs here. I know that there's so many more levels and bosses and things coming later on down the line. So I can see why these buffs would be happening. It reminds me a lot of what happened right before Cinders got released. How like so many things got buffed, and it's like, okay, you need to do this for the Cinder system. Death Sickles now grants 10% critical hit chance per soul heart you have. Previously granted you a soul heart upon killing a boss, dude. This is an upgrade. Outstanding Money Gun. Change the attack pattern to shoot less projectiles. Now gains +5 base damage per gold you had. Previously granted 1. Yeah, that's a huge buff. Katana, 1% increased attack speed per dex. Previously shot an extra projectile on dodge, which I hated. I'll take the attack speed. That makes a lot more sense, especially with Katana. Moonshine Greatsword, 5% critical hit chance per current mana. Yo, these are some big buffs. Look at how much... Yo, Benji, you went crazy. You went so crazy. Okay, I gotta go through this a little bit faster now. Like, I didn't realize how ridiculous this video was gonna be. Okay. Spinner weapons, such as Bibles and Flails, now use increased attack speed at a less effective rate, meaning 10% increased attack speed is not 10% increased rotation speed anymore, but probably less. Interesting. Big Chomper now deals +1000 bonus damage per strength proficiency you have. I just did a Big Chomper video, and it was already, like, stupid powerful, in my opinion. And now, like, what? What do you... Okay, sure. Sure. Spore Flail now spawns spores while spinning. Awesome. Maelstrom now grants Tailwind on hit. Additional Tailwind has been changed to grant 5% increased attack and movement speed per stack and stacks up to 4 times. Whoa. This change also affects other weapons that grant Tailwind. 6. Sun Vortex inflicts a new status effect called Scorch. We got new effects. Scorch stacks up to 10 times and increases burn damage taken, but wow. That puts Sun Vortex in... That's a whole new level. Demon Repeater, buff, damage, great. Mechanical Crossbow is now an epic weapon. The icon of the weapon now shows that it shoots multiple bolts. Kugelblitz 1, the nerf. The nerf. I knew it was coming. We talked about it in the comments. Like, this is too powerful. It was too powerful for the color that it was. So decrease base damage, right? It's less top heavy in its base damage and reduce lightning trigger rate slightly. Okay. Still probably very good for its color. Frozen Orb 1, little bit of a nerf as well. Ooh, on the bottom and the top. Interesting. Zwyander now gains 10 base damage per strength, previously 5. Back and forth with this one. Yes, it is on a nerf and buff teeter-totter. It's just going back and forth. That's fine, though. Chakrams increase int scaling from E to D. Interesting. And increase base damage from 100 to 125. Okay, Chakram buff. Doomerang. Increase base attacks per second from 2.25 to 2.5. Interesting. And increase strength scaling from E to C. Doomerang. Making its way up. In the strength game, too. That's interesting. Magical Boomerang. Increase base damage from 50 to 75 to big buff. Sawblade. Big buff. Thorn Chakram, big buff. Twin Chakram, big buff. And base attacks per second. Chakrams came up in the world. Vortex Glaive has Tailwind. Wow. Yo, look at all the buffs. Dagger buffs, Chakram buffs, Ice Fang buff. This one was over nerfed last time. Yes, Ice Fang was over nerfed. Thank you for correcting that. So many buffs. Manticore, Shuriken, Throwing Javelin has better strength scaling. Yo, whatever is coming next in this game content-wise is going to be tough. Like, this is just showing me that we are in for pain and suffering and punishment. I'm happy, but I'm also worried. Okay, throwing javelins, throwing knives. Added a strength scaling of E. Wow. Strength added the... Okay. The throwing knives. Okay. Poison increase. Kunai base increase. Paper Bomb Kunai now exploded in area effect upon reaching 5 stacks. No. They explode after reaching 5 stacks. You can't just, like, stack 20 on all kinds of different mobs and then set them all off. How dare you? That's a nerf. Railgun, main projectile now deals 500% total damage. You know, I got Railgun. in a video like a week ago, and it was powerful, but I thought it was a little on the weak side of the game, so I'm happy he's getting that buff. For what it was, for being a purple, I thought it would be more devastating. All pole arms now inflict defense break. They should. See defense changes. Okay, add new weapon type instruments. We got bards, so we need instruments. They're generally magic that scale better with dex than other magic weapons. Interesting. That makes sense, though. That totally makes sense. I'm on board for that. Okay, we got a bunch of new pole arms. A new one-handed sword, oak staff, fey lute, griffon, kiss of death, the separator, the axe of despair, bone force, arcane shuriken, grandmaster shuriken, lightning shuriken, shadow shuriken, kazoo, trumpet, metal guitar, maracas. Maracas. Yo, I forget what instrument my boy Steve recommended. Was it the triangle? I forget which one. I know Benji asked about it on Twitter. Acoustic guitar is awesome to have along with metal guitar. Piano is cool. Bell is cool. Inferno, Orb Wand, Druid Bible. Yo, if you guys haven't seen the animation for Druid Bible, it's pretty wild. War fans. Sick. All right, equipment changes. See, these are great patch notes because I was thinking that I was going to have to open this up and see what the buffs or nerfs were and then pull up the wiki and compare the two, and I don't have to do that. So thank you, and I understand why it took you so long to write these. Chance's Avarice previously consumed souls after picking them up. The ring now instead intercepts picking up souls and absorbs them directly. Phoenix Pendant. Previously, this item destroyed itself after revving you once. Now, instead, just grants +1 rev per floor. That's a huge buff. Holy smokes. Blue Cotton Hoodie. Effect has been simplified and now grants trait rerolls after killing a boss. Ooh. Green. Effect has been simplified and now grants attack speed and damage upon swapping a weapon. Okay, I like these are simplified. Red Velvet Hoodie. Effect has been simplified and now grants critical hit chance and critical hit multiplier until you take damage, encouraging you to not get hit as much as possible. Okay, Red Velvet Hoodie was already OP, and now it's out of this damn world. But I will say, this is a good thing. Let me close my door real quick. My cat just woke up from his nap and ran out of here. Sorry, I sound far away. Okay, I'm back. Here was my issue with Red Velvet Hoodie. I knew that the longer I didn't take damage, the better the buffs would be. And I got to a point where I was like, I'm not going to take damage at all. And I ended up taking damage like basically once accidentally and would get one of the 3 possible buffs. Now, you are getting granted crit hit chance and crit hit multiplier until you take damage. So it's just happening and you're getting the benefit. It's not like, oh, you've taken damage, now here's what you get. It's now you've taken damage, we're going to stop. We're going to cut you off. You've already been getting the buff, which I love. Tyler's Robe is now more common, and the rewards have been changed. Cool. Goliath's Greaves now grant +4 boss suppressions. +4 boss suppressions? I wonder what that means. I don't understand that one. Elusive Boots now grant +2 evades. I like that. Dragon Scale Shield previously granted 5% increased melee damage per max armor. Now grants 20% increased melee damage per max armor. Yo, we are in trouble. This is an indication that what's coming is bad news. This game is going to get a lot harder. Enchanted Quiver, previously granted 20% chance to refire, now grants 25%. Bear Pelt, previously granted +3 base damage per strength, now grants 25 base damage. Interesting. Yeah, it was +3 base damage per strength. Now grants 25 base damage. That's really good because you get that early on. Isn't that a floor 1 event reward? That's like very early, so that's good. Gladiator Helmet, previously granted 5% increased damage per heart container, now 5% defense penetration per heart container. Ooh. Amazon Bracelet, 3 base melee and range damage per dex, 1% def penetration per dex. So defense on enemies is going to be a big deal. Really big. Dark Orb renamed to Dark Codex, and icon has changed. I heard this is a lore change, so I'm excited about that. Hand of Blood, which I always loved. You know me, I loved Yeah. Now grants a buff that grants 30% attack speed upon taking damage. Previously made melee weapons inflict bleed and granted a bleed damage bonus. Damn, the bleed has been stripped. Yikes. Silver Serpent Ring. 0.5% increased damage per 100 souls you have. Previously spawned souls. See, these are such good buffs. Because Silver Serpent Ring was worthless to me, my brothers and sisters. Very worthless. Skull Ring now grants 50% more damage dealt against bosses instead of 12. Thank you for the buff. New Mystical Wrappings. Bard Hat, Troubadour, Garb, Kettle Helm, Town Guard Armor. Nice for Soldier. Wizard Cloak. Has a new effect. Grants +1 int proficiency while base int scaling of weapon is B or smaller. Oh. Mana Cloak. Grants +2 mana. Old Wizard Cloak replacement. Okay. Soul Scarf. Absorbs souls and converts them into soul hearts. I likes that. Balloon Bundle. We talked about. Occult Mark. Crystal Orb. Those are all references to the other games. Shout out to all of the indie game developers out there. We wish you nothing but the best. Oh, you guys can see here that I don't have my... Yeah, it's all set and ready to go. Sweet. All right. Consumable and charm changes. Regeneration charm. Granted 1 heart recovered on revive, 1 heart recovered by health flask. Watcher's charm was previously granted convoluted effect of restoring health if surviving a room while at 1 heart. Now grants +1 death defy. Gotcha. Antidote potion is not a potion anymore. Huh? Removed health standard health potion is gone. Oh, because you have the health flask. Got you. 3 new minor resin items that grant fire, cold, and lightning infusion for 1 room. Dropped by Mystic Starter body armor. 1 room infusions. Nice little quick pop. Little shot infusion. Should be a little shot glass of like cinnamon whiskey, lemonade, or I don't know. Whatever's blue. Sacramental bread is only 2 absolution. Yo, you make the game. That's making the game harder. I don't like that. Soul shards can now stack. That's wonderful. I hated the idea of Megadeth with only 6 item slots. So now that these stack, it's great. It sucked that they didn't stack before until you had all 3. Mana Potion now spawns Mana Star every 10 seconds. Previously it was 5. Okay, nerfed that a little bit. Whatever. Red Wine +1. Oh, so there's different booze. Red Wine, 1 tipsiness. Whiskey, 3. Sake, 2. Emerald Orb. I like that. I like the different levels of tipsiness. That means red wine and beers are both 1. Whiskey's 3. Sake's 2. Cool. Emerald Orb charm. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Reveals the weakness of the next boss. We need more elemental focus like that. Of like, this boss is weak to this boss is strong with this. Like, you can put 2 and 2 together when you do the dragon and he's breathing fire, or the phoenix with fire. You're like, okay, fire is probably not going to be as effective. But like, little things like this are really, really cool. Trait changes. Added a lot of quality of life descriptions to traits so that you can make better choices during trait selection. Example, Resolute Technique now shows critical hit chance. Thank you. So many of the traits where it's like, do you want this, this, or this? And you're like, and one of them will be like, oh, you know, if you have int, it'll give 12 damage per int. And you're like, I can't tab out and actually see how much int I have, so I don't know if this is a good or a bad thing. So it's nice that he decided to do this. Vitality, previously recovered 1 heart on room completion. You've taken damage. If you've taken damage in that room, now grants +1 heart recovered by the health flask. The flask is key now. Okay, Shield Bash, previously dealt damage depending on your weapon, now has its own base damage and scaling. Oh. Ruthless, previously every 3rd attack dealt double damage, now every 5th attack deals double damage. I'm hurt by that. I'm really hurt by that. Boozer, previously made tipsiness perm, now instead increases the damage bonus granted by each stack of tipsiness by 5%. I read about this on Twitter. That one hurts me too. I liked tipsiness as perm, Because I liked playing warrior a lot. I mean, it's biased. Agility removed the 10% increased movement speed if granted WoW. It granted WoW. Ballistics previously granted 20% chance to trigger a refire with range. Yes, now 25. Thank you. Thank you. Give and take previously granted increased damage and attack speed. Now grants more damage and attack speed. Effect stat calculation is now a multiplier to everything. Ooh. Opportunistic previously granted 100% chance to trigger refires for 0.5 seconds after dash, right? Now only repeats the next attack after dashing once. Okay. Spellblade now also affects chakrams and is now handled as a more multiplier instead of an increase. Yo, chakrams. Chakrams came up in this patch. Please believe. Chakrams are life. Chakrams are wonderful. And I heard in my last video, my audio was a little low. I'm trying to stay close to the microphone here. Annihilation previously granted 25% more damage. Yep, with status effect now grants 25% more damage with hits that deflect a dot. So not just status effect. It must be a damage over time. So like slow would not count. Interesting. Discharge. Area and damage scaling has been changed. Discharge damage now exponentially scales with mana. Discharge now only consumes half your mana instead of all of it on trigger. Interesting. Static blows base damage has been nerfed, but the damage now scales with the character level. That's fine. That is fine. Because static blows was super powerful early on and kind of garbage later on. I like that it scales now. Dreamer proves again to 70%. Yes. No. Yes. If you nerf this, I was going to cry on mic. You have buffed it, and now I'm happy on mic. Power of Nature removed. Ancestral Force weapons of scale with strength now enable and profit from damage bonus from mana. Ooh, improved many traits to check if they would benefit you before appearing as an offered choice in trait selection. Okay, little typos in there, but all good. Class changes. Man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man. Soldier, Wizard, Mystic, Bard. Heroes now 2/2/2. Knight is 3/1/1. Sorcerer is 5 and woo. Ranger's 3/1/1. Thief is 4/1. Makes sense. Warrior is 4/1. Makes sense. Pyro is 4/1. So Pyro's 4/1. Sorcerer's 5/0. Deprived is 2/2/2. Makes sense. Bandit is 3/2. Okay. Bandit buffed gold amount gained for yo, more gold find? You love to see it. Cleric is 3/2. Gotcha. Gunslinger is 4/1. Wanderer is 3/2. Dop is 1/1/1 to start. Understood. Okay, we got major changes, minor changes. Major changes. Deef. Deef is a new stat that every enemy has. Each point of defense reduces damage taken by 1%. Without the bestiary feature, you're unfortunately left to guess the defense value of enemies right now. But you can make more informed guesses that enemies like crabs or stone creatures will have a lot of defense. Thank you. That's the kind I want to be able to look at it and understand. Health values of enemies have been reduced to account for the granted damage reduction. Enemies have a maximum of 75 def. Right. New def penetration, new stat that directly negates enemy defense. 1% def penetration will negate 1 point. Right, makes sense. Def break now actually halves defense. Wow. Pole arms. Let's get it. Poison. Being poisoned doesn't inflict any damage anymore. Instead, this now halves the healing you get. Wow. That poison change is huge. It impacts healing instead of actual health. Now I'm like not scared of poison. Because if it impacts my healing for a number of runes, that's fine. I didn't like the fact that it was ticking me down to half a heart, I should say. Repair powder now can only be used out of combat. Gotcha. Tipsiness now grants 5% more damage per stack of tipsiness. Previously 10 more. Yep. It is a nerf. Base damage bonus from mana is now 5% more damage. Previously 10. That's a significant nerf, cutting that in half. Base mana degen rate has been halved. Big buff. Inherent attack speed bonus from picking up a mana star pickup has had its duration increased from 2 seconds to 4. Interesting. Added a cutscene when you die in the bridge room after defeating death. Yo. Also, the bonfire now comments on defeating death. I made this change to make it a bit less confusing that you die after defeating death. Got you. Minor changes. Dark magic type is now associated with a new status effect called Corruption, which increases, yep, we saw Corruption, increases damage taken by 1% for each stack. Under normal circumstances, the status effect can only be applied once per second. Got you. Blessings now have ranks instead of levels to make the wording less confusing. Attributes from items now doesn't affect reward and trait weights anymore. Only attributes from pickups count toward it now. Interesting. That's some real under the hood. Added a new option to separately disable the scan lines of the CRT effect. Cool. New damage types, sound and nature. Makes sense. Especially with that weird druid Bible and the bard. You can now reset your Steam achievements in the options menu. Cool. Dynamic effects in the game now display their current value in their descriptions. Awesome. Blessing changes. Remove regeneration blessing. New preparation makes you start with an additional health flask. Wow. Healing, changing. All of this, see, there's little clues sprinkled in here about what's to come in this game, and that's super exciting. Gift changes. Coin bag now makes you start with 35 up from 30. That's from me. Thank you. Bomb pouch now makes you start with 6 up from 5. Nice. Remove mana pots. Remove repair powder for gifts. New mana elixir. Social mana potion that lasts forever. Replenishing repair powder, special repair powder that replenishes after a while. That's cool that it refills. Dice case, of course, starts you with an assortment of dice. I thought maybe the bag was going to be one of the starting things you could have, but you just get the bag off rip, and the dice case just starts you with a few. Okay. Soul scarf, we saw that earlier. Mystery box, gift that starts you with a random other gift. I like that. I like that you can just spin the wheel. Mana catalyst, accessory that enables mana regardless of the weapon you... What? So you can go strength mana if you have this? That's crazy. That's crazy. Okay. Room and room reward changes. Curse Shrine changes remove frenzy, power, and fleeting. Wow, dude. Blood chest rewards have slightly changed, and rewards for bombing blood chests have changed completely. Now grants a random blood item, which transforms into a random other item upon taking damage. Ooh. Shrine changes now spawn after room is completed to avoid accidentally bombing them. Also, reward for bombing a shrine has changed. Blood altar changes some rewards, and also changes the reward for bombing a blood altar. Health fountain now cures poison and refills flask. Nice. Tavern healing at the nurse now costs 10. Yo, come on, dude. You put it down to 5 and now it's back to 10. That hurts me. Beer is now 5. So beer is cheaper, but healing is more expensive. Damn. Pain. Pain and suffering is all I feel inside. Pawn shop. Weapons and equipment items now sell for a little bit low. No! I love selling at pawn. Soul shops are now previewed with a shop icon and name colored in light blue instead of brown. Oh, so we know it'll specifically be a shop where you have to buy things with souls. Thank you. New floor 10 event that grants unique charm. Ooh. New floor 10 event that allows refining your trait choices. Ooh. New fixed room that allows attuning all items right before fighting death. Oh. I almost wish I didn't read these. That I just found out on my own. Gold treasure chest now grant 2 rewards up from 1. Gold treasure mimics. Yeah, gold treasure chest needed a buff. So many of the times I would open one and it would just be like some money. And I was like, if I had a lot of money, I would skip them. Max heart container reward for boss is slightly more common. Cool. This means I don't have to take +2 hearts from trait from strength now because I'm a coward. Random booze reward now grants 2 to 3 random bottles of booze. Major fixes that almost are new features. Fixed staying overnight at the tavern. This now correctly rerolls the NPCs. Previously, there was a small chance that a cluster of NPCs would get deleted and would never appear again. This doesn't happen anymore. Awesome. Equipment items that grant max health now store the current health on the item. Basically, health items now work as everybody would expect them to work and not in a convoluted, weird way. Effects that grant damage reduction now all work by a percentage value, usually 50% less. Red dice can now reroll all room rewards. Previously couldn't reroll some special rooms like Tavern and Blacksmith. That's true. Some of the rooms were stuck. And you could reroll the other room option. Okay, enemy changes. Lowered minimum movement speed of every boss. Almost all enemies have defense values now. So yep, some mid-game enemies and bosses have had their health slightly increased. Mid-game getting tougher. Ooh, Megadeth changed the laser fan attack because it was not consistently avoidable, even by the best players. Increased rotation speed of and movement speed during rotating beam attack. Kraken boss and Calamari enemies are now weak to sound instead of lightning. Let's go. That's so smart. Banshee boss and Banshee enemies in 410 are now weak to nature instead of holy. Let's go. Sphinx boss is now weak to dark instead of cold. King Ooze boss and Ooze enemies are now weak to poison. Interesting. Iron Maiden enemies now weak to nature. Wow. I never really paid attention to all this stuff. I just went in and was like, please, I hope I make it. Airstrike Enchanted, reduced frequency. Thank God. Arcane Enchanted, added an additional delay. Battery Enchanted, fixed. Added an initial delay. Is this because I took damage in that room? Is this because I took damage when I went to that room and Arcane just like hit me immediately? Benji, were you watching? If you were, thank you. I'm blessed. And I'm glad I complained about it. Squeaky wheel gets the grease. I'm taking all the credit. Battery Enchanted. Fixed that the projectiles would not extend room duration but get destroyed immediately. Okay. Procs defense now grants defense instead of damage reduction. Got you. That makes sense. Thus can be mitigated, yeah, by Deef Penetration and Deef Break. Sweet. I feel like I just need to keep a polearm with me the entire time I play this game. Like, Deef Break is going to be so good. Shield Enchanted now grants Deef instead of damage reduction. Thus can be mitigated by Deef Penetration. Achievement and unlock condition changes. We are the champions. Is now all classes but Doppelganger are considered basic classes. This achievement now requires to acquire 16 total classes. Okay, come and get it. As I added 4 new gifts, this achievement now requires to acquire 16. Yep. New, a secret place. Find and uncover 3 secret rooms. Drink. Take a sip from your health flask. That's an achievement. Like, enter the game and press, like, spacebar or whatever. Interesting. Hotel California. Stay overnight at the tavern. Deprived unlock. Requires you to now acquire the 15... other basic classes, yep. Dop unlock, 4 new unlocks and 4 new classes. Great. Cinder changes. On Death's Door, now also makes you start with empty health flasks. Oh. Sorry, I wish I had more time for more Cinder changes. Brother, let me tell you something. The Cinders are already too hard. Please don't change them ever again. It's already way too difficult. Thank you. Thank you. It's too hard already. I'm too triggered already. And then technical and back-end changes and noteworthy bug fixes. Man, Benji, I gotta tell you, when you put out your post about all the things you wanted to do for this game this year, I was like, he's crazy. I don't know if he can make it happen. He's crazy. This is so much. But seeing the not update, and like what you're doing with this, I am a believer, dude. I'm a believer. This is so detailed, well thought out, and just impressive from a design standpoint that you have all of these wonderful ideas from your game, for your game, I should say, and that you have a path laid out for fixing them. And I know you were sick for a while, and that kind of like hamstrung you a little bit, but dude, I believe. I love the game. I love what you're doing. I was happy to read these. It's like a miniature Christmas, you know? And if you are out there and you haven't tried this game yet, what are you waiting for, man? This is an early access, and these are like the not patches. You're getting classes, you're getting weapons, you're getting retooling and balancing, you're getting secret rooms, you're getting achievements, you're getting everything. And it all makes sense, right? So to that I say, look at this price here. It's $6 US. You have $6. Support this man, support this game, and I can't wait to jump into this new update. It's going to be incredible. Until next time, you know who it is. Yeah, it's KB. You know me. And I'll see you guys in my runs. Peace.